I'm so excited to be on this sofa.
Yeah,
the infamous sofa.
So nice to have you here. So, Lara is, what do you prefer? How do you call yourself? Influencer, content creator?
I guess like not influencer, but like influencer is like the common word. Like if
Yeah.
someone's like, what do you do? Influencer, people like get it straight away. If you're like content creator, they're like.
Lara is a big time influencer. You've been doing it for a few years, right? A couple of years?
Like about a year and a half.
Yeah, so not even that long, but she's got, I was looking last night, 600,000 followers on TikTok, 250 or something on Instagram, and you've got a YouTube as well. Just been killing it, and you do like fashion, but dancing and hair tutorials. I love your like Gilmore Girl vibe. It's so cute.
Thank you.
And it's been so crazy to watch you grow, like so quickly.
Yeah, it has been like weird.
Does it feel fast to you as well?
Yeah, I think it was like the first like 6 months were like super intense, and then after like a while I kind of adjusted to it.
Yeah.
But like the first 6 months were intense. Like it has like slowed down a bit now. I guess like once you get like that first initial like blow up, I guess you could say, it just kind of steadied out. And honestly, I prefer like it just steadying out.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just easier to like, manage, keep up with.
Less overwhelming.
Yeah, but like I gained like most of my following, I'd say, in the first like 6-7 months. And since then it's been just like kind of steady.
Gradual. Yeah, I feel like gradual is best.
Yeah.
Always. Like
because you can keep up with it.
Exactly. You can like anticipate your growth.
Yeah.
Plan your work around it.
Yeah.
Because it's a job.
Yeah.
It's not just like for fun. And yeah, I just can't believe like how quick it has been.
Yeah, it's
when it was happening to you, like let's say the first 6 months, was that in lockdown or?
It was like, so the UK had like that first lockdown, which was what, 2021.
Yeah.
That's when I like opened like a TikTok account.
2020
that was
actually.
2020. Oh yeah. So 2020 was when I opened my TikTok account. But then I kind of like was on there, but like not really like with the intention of like growing. I was like literally just posting, like kind of like everyone was in lockdown.
Yeah, because they're bored.
Yeah, like you just post like random videos. And I actually got like 13,000 followers on TikTok from that. But also I feel like it was so easy to grow at that time, and also everyone knows it's a lot easier to grow on TikTok. But at that time I was like, oh well, like a lot of people, like my friend also had like 20k. I was like, you know, it was quite like I think a normal thing at that time. So then that happened, and then I took like a year where I just didn't really post. And it's funny because prior to like being on Instagram, like I like literally never posted on it.
Really?
No, yeah.
Did you have a personal account?
I did. It's the same account I have now, but like I hardly posted. It was like once every like maybe 4 months I'd like I'm out with a photo. But I guess it's just like the more norm.
Yeah.
But then there was like a year break, and I was like, oh, I don't know what to do. Again, like in and out, because when lockdown first happened, I was waitressing, so that was like no.
Yeah.
Then during lockdown, I like worked at Sainsbury's because that was like the only job you could get. And I just wanted like some independence because at that time I was like living with my friend's family, feeling.
How old were you at
like
this stage?
21.
Okay, yeah.
Oh my gosh, my math is so bad. 21.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, like I feel like I'm taking a step back. I think everyone kind of felt like that. It was just a weird time. And then after that, I actually moved back in with my dad in Manchester. And I started learning hairdressing.
No way.
My dad's a hairdresser.
Oh my god, so is this why you're really good at doing
So that's why I do a lot of like hair stuff.
That's so cool.
That's why I enjoyed it a lot, because I saw it growing up. So then I was like, okay, the next thing for me like was never really like uni. Although like I would have loved to go to uni, I was always really unsure of like what that would be. I did study fashion design for a year in South Africa. So it was always something within fashion, but I was like, fashion design wasn't really for me. I didn't enjoy I enjoyed like the creative aspect of like coming up with a design, but I like hated the sewing. I think
really hard.
It's really hard, and like the pattern making, it was just like really intense, and like that was kind of like, no, okay, so fashion, marketing, something like that was like in my mind. And I always said like, after lockdown, I'll study if like nothing else happened then. But then while lockdown was happening, you know what, I'm gonna like learn hairdressing from my dad. I was living with him, could learn from him. Kind of started that, even started a course in that. But as that was happening, again, salons opened, I started working, but then we had that second lockdown. I think that was 2021.
At that point.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So that was like when it was still kind of like essential businesses, right? So you could go to the salon, you could go to like wherever, but like restaurants were still kind of weird, and like you couldn't really go. And then the second lockdown happened again, and I was like, so then again I wasn't like working, and I was just feeling really frustrated. And then it was actually one particular video I saw on TikTok that was like what I got like as an influencer, like with like 10k followers, and then it was like people earning money, like, you know, getting giftings and stuff. And I loved fashion. At that time, I literally had like no clothes. So I was like really interested. I was like, that sounds really fun. And I have 13K because like from the initial thing.
Yeah.
So then I was like, why not just like give it a go? So then I just decided like that day pretty much that I'm in lockdown, I'm not doing anything. So I was going to post like a 30 days outfit.
And that's how it started.
Yeah, so then I started doing that on TikTok, and they're just working with kind of what I had in my wardrobe. And then I was like, well, I'm doing it on TikTok, I'm dressed, I might as well take some Instagram photos too.
Yeah.
Then I started posting it on like Instagram. And I remember I got like my first like 1,000 likes, which was really weird. Like it really just kind of like, I feel like very lucky because people always ask me like, oh, how did you do it? I was like, I just started, and I understand like for a lot of people it's not always so easy. Like some people have like amazing content and just like doesn't get shown. But for some reason like my stuff was just being shown. I think I was really like lucky in the sense that like A, I was consistent, and B, it was like really good timing. Like the lockdown time, like it's so much harder now to like,
but I wouldn't discredit your skill as well. I feel like there's something that people are really drawn to about you. So timing always plays a big thing. I feel the same way about myself, but also like people are like, if people weren't following you and you're getting 1,000 likes, that means that people find you on the Explore page, right? So in a grid of other people were choosing your pic and liking it.
Yeah,
it was really crazy.
It was really wild. And then after that, it kind of like, I guess like my Instagram got to like 40K within like that month.
Really?
Which was like wild,
Wow.
And then my TikTok grew, I think, to like 70,000. And then like, I remember getting like my first job, like paid job through it. And it was like so weird because I obviously didn't have a manager at that time. Right. Although like at that stage, you definitely could get a manager. A lot of people do. Sure, a lot of people do. And that's why you see all those videos on TikTok. If you can like make money from doing this, get a manager, because you can. I think you should. If you like do have that, like why not just like go with it if it's what you want to do. And I got my first job. And
what was the job?
It was actually pretty cool. It was for like this app called Rated Global.
Okay.
And it was basically just an app, and I think they're still like around. It was just an app where like you would post your outfits and just like link the thing. So people could just, it's kind of similar to like, what's the other one? Play on Buttons?
I don't know that one.
But it's like you can just like post your outfits and like link everything, and like
so kind of what
it was like kind of like an Instagram vibe, and like and like it was like an Instagram. That was obviously early days of TikTok that didn't really exist yet. And it was really just like a TikTok for them, showing my outfits and being like, you can shop them on my Rated Global page or whatever. And I remember being like, I have no idea how like negotiate, and they were like sending contracts and stuff, and I was like, and that was really weird. I'm very lucky that my sister had been doing it for a long time prior,
so she knew.
So she like helped me out a lot with it. But that's kind of like coming back to like, if you blow up really quick, like say some people literally gain like 1 million followers within like a week if they have like a really crazy blow up video. I can't imagine what that must be like, going from like kind of almost nothing to that. And knowing what to do.
I mean, I was doing it for ages, and the first like, I mean, maybe not like social media stuff for ages, but just using Instagram and stuff. And the first job that I did, I got like £200 for it. And I was like, Mum, I can't believe I just got £200 for doing this. I need my phone. And she was like, £200, Bella. Like, you need to be upping it, girl. Like, what are you doing? And I was like, oh my god, what? No one told me. Like, how do you know if you don't have like representation and someone to tell you what to do?
Well, exactly. And I think
it's really important.
I think my first job that was rated was like £80 or something.
Wow.
But for me, again, like when you go from working like a minimum wage job, like waitressing, working really hard, like the job is so difficult, and like that's what you earn in a day. I was like, whoa, I got that from like just putting 4 outfits into a TikTok. Like that's insane.
It feels, I know, but I guess the way that I'm sure you see it now is like, it's not just about the like manual labor of it, which can also be quite time consuming, especially the back and forth of like the final thing. But then also they're paying to have access to your following.
Exactly.
Which has a big monetary value.
And that's the big thing is like, and I think it took me a while to realize, because I was like, no, like, it's like a weird thing. I don't know how to like, that's why eventually, I remember at the start, I actually made up like a fake name that was like a man. I think he was like David or something. So that's who I would like sign my emails off of.
Oh, that's smart.
So like it wasn't me, because I was like, I was scared to like, take me more seriously. And also I was really scared to like kind of say the wrong thing or like anything like that. So then at least if I did, it wasn't like put on me. Like brands wouldn't be like,
on you.
Brands wouldn't be like, oh, like, this girl doesn't know what she's talking about. It's just David. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
That's really smart, though. That's really smart. So then at what point did you get, like, an agent or a management?
I got a management, I think, when I was on, like, 100K. Maybe a bit less. So, yeah, pretty early on. And at the time as well, which is, like, another thing to mention, I didn't started like full time immediately. So after that lockdown, I went to work with Fines, Fines.
Oh yeah, of course. I was going to ask you about that. So do you still work with them now?
No, not anymore.
So Fines is an app that's like, it's like a combination of Depop and TikTok, right? So you can like shop clothes, but all the listings just have videos.
Yeah.
Like TikTok. Yeah.
Exactly.
So you were working for them. Were you doing social media for them or something?
So I started as like a community development intern. So that was like kind of looking for, they found me through TikTok. I think they found me when I was like 20K, so very early on. Did an interview, got the job. This was like my first big growth job too. It wasn't like a job that I felt I was like, I guess like it wasn't like a uni job.
It
wasn't
like
like,
company kind of
it was really cool. And that was like, basically I would source, I guess you could say, or like reach out to like sellers. To
like scout people.
Kind of like, kind of like scout people to get them interested in the app. But at that time, like the app wasn't even a thing. So that was kind of what I started with, and then eventually I did progress into social media because at the time I still continued to do my own because I was only part-time there because I wanted to focus on like TikTok and Instagram too. And then from there they took me onto social media, and I think I learned a lot there as well about it. Like it was all I did day and night was like doing social media for them. And
was that
for me,
exhausting?
Yeah, it got really tiring at the end. Like they are so amazing. I love Fines, still use it, still like I'm very much in contact with them. But it's nice now because I guess we work together more on like me being
your stuff.
So I would eventually do influencer outreach.
And then you'd be the influencer.
So then it was really, I guess it kind of felt a bit like contradicting because like I think it didn't work for like either like me or for like them really, because people would like recognize my name at that point, like especially people within this like kind of bubble that we have in the UK of like Depop sellers and like I guess like the small amount of influencers that are in the UK. Once I got a bit bigger, like 150K on Instagram stuff, people started to be like, oh, like Lara from Instagram. And I just thought, I mean, I don't think they really minded, but I was like, this is just kind of odd. I feel like it's weird for them. I don't want them, I don't want them to feel like people are just like emailing me like Lara, like whatever. So eventually I was like, I don't really like enjoy doing the emails. I don't think it's good for like the brand or for me. So then I just focused on like TikTok, Instagram, that kind of stuff. That was like my main focus, and they hired someone else for like social to do emails and stuff. But then I just kind of like phased out. I got too busy with like work on Instagram.
Well, I was going to ask, did you find that like working in social media but for another company made you maybe have less brain space?
Literally exactly that.
Stuff.
Exactly that. And I obviously really wanted this job to go well. I really wanted them to do well. Like they're such, like the founders are so amazing. I was like, I just want them to do really well. So every idea I had, I would be like, oh, but I want to like use it for Fines because I just wanted like the job to do well. And at that stage, I felt like I wasn't really sure if my TikTok and Instagram would go much further. Like it was very like weird phase. Like I'm not sure if this is gonna like be my full-time job or if it could be. So like I just want to make sure that I'm doing a really good job here because who knows, I also might have ended up choosing that. Like maybe the Instagram TikTok thing wasn't for me. So I just wanted to make sure that like I was doing a good job.
Options open.
Doing a really good job and like making like the most of the opportunity. So that was really hard, basically like having to think of ideas for both, although they were quite different at times. It's like it's really hard anyway to come up with ideas for myself all the time, let alone like for someone else.
And if you're feeling like overworked in any way, I always find that ideas dry up when you're like exhausted or whatever. So if you're like spread a bit thin across basically 2 social media jobs, that must have been intense. So was it quite a big decision for you to be like, I'm just gonna go full time and just focus on my own stuff?
Well, it was quite a scary decision because at the time I wouldn't say it was particularly set in stone either. Like I was like, I wonder if I can do this full time, but I don't think I would know until I did. So then I like resigned, and it was quite sad because I was like, I don't really want to leave. Like I do like working here, but I think I have to like go this route and just see what happens. And I mean, they were lovely. They were like, doors always open. I hope it goes really well.
That's good.
So that was a really nice experience, and I think it really helped me with like I guess like forming like my brand or like my identity on like social media, because it really helped drive me toward like secondhand fashion.
Which I love, obviously.
So like that, like prior to that, not that I was particularly the opposite. I was kind of in the middle. As well as being quite small, any gifting I got, I would accept. And any job I got, I would accept because I had to pay the bills. So I couldn't be as picky back then. But it definitely like drove me towards that. And I think without that, I wouldn't have like so much knowledge. Like I learned a lot about like secondhand fashion.
And you pretty much only dress secondhand now, would you say?
Pretty much.
You used to do more like fast fashion and stuff, but now I just see pretty much only wear vintage. It's just so good. It's so nice to see like a really successful influencer it would be cheaper for you to just wear like fast fashion stuff because that's what you get sent all the time. But it's really cool to see like rep in the vintage.
No, it's been like a really great like progression, and I think it's been quite nice. It's been a slow progression. Also like a backstory on like me with secondhand fashion. I grew up in South Africa.
Yeah, I was gonna
ask. And it like
you.
doesn't exist there.
Yeah, so
like there's no thrifting, there's no secondhand fashion. There's not really fashion there.
Right.
We have like a few stores. We have like Cotton On. I don't know if you know that brand.
No.
It's like an Australian brand. Like we have like a Zara and an H&M.
Yeah.
So it was very like.
I mean, I grew up in Cheltenham, so which is a small town.
Yeah.
I know exactly. Yeah.
It was so limited. So like my interest in fashion, especially secondhand, during like my teenage years, could have never really grown because I just wasn't exposed to it, and it also wasn't on like there was no TikTok, so I guess you were less exposed to like all these amazing brands that you like see now.
Yeah.
Then like when I moved into the UK, I started to like I guess like notice it a bit more. I used to go like charity shopping with my nana and stuff, and then slowly like I like downloaded Depop, and then I was like, this is fun. At the time, like I couldn't really afford to like buy a lot of things on there, but I would buy like the odd piece. So it was quite a slow progression, I would say. But the more I focused on secondhand fashion, I think the more I realized how much I enjoyed it.
It feels so you.
Yeah.
Like when I see the outfits that you pull together, like I think sometimes there's a misconception that like, I don't know, there are Depop girls and everyone dresses the same, but I actually think people can pull like the same clothes and style them completely differently.
Yeah.
And I think that is really cool to watch you do that and to just sell things in your own way. And like you've got all your 90s references and your noughties references, but you put your own spin on it. And then it's crazy to see all these girls dressing the same way as you, like because you set that trend. How does that feel when you see girls like, if you do a video being like, I'm wearing skinny scarves now, guys, and then everyone's wearing skinny scarves. Like,
honestly, yeah, it's like it's nice to hear you say that because I think for so long I was actually very like insecure in my like style identity, especially when I started.
We all go through that.
Yeah, especially when I started. Like, if you go back on my Instagram, please don't.
It's
not good.
I promise.
Because it's like not very good. But like, I guess at that time, I like literally was just, it was just like micro trends. Like that's what I got. That's what I was sent, and I was just so desperate to like. For me, it was always like the fun part was like the videos. I just love the videos. I love making concept. I love the dancing. So I was like, okay, it doesn't really matter what I'm wearing. I'm just gonna focus on like getting really good at making these videos.
Yeah.
And then obviously since then I've had the privilege of being able to choose, and like I have a better privilege, although sometimes not all the time, of choosing like the right jobs, and I always try to make like the right decision on that.
Yeah.
But it's been really nice to like progress into that. But like you say, it's funny because I feel like, I guess I never feel like it's me being, which is so dumb because like my job is literally an influencer, but I never feel like I am influencing people.
It's
I always feel like, oh, it must be like something else, or like
no, it's you, babe. Definitely. It can be weird. Like I have this battle a bit with myself of like, I hate people dressing the same way as me, but it's my job to like to have that effect on people. So I try to kind of, I don't know, like when people ask you where stuff is from, do you always just say like
I try to. On TikTok it's harder because you can't like write a long caption and like to reply to all the comments. I try as much as I can, but life gets busy and I can't always reply to comments. But on Instagram Reels I try to like list every outfit I wear. And wear
I feel like you're really good at that, and I guess like that's the relationship that you've built with brands as well, is it?
Well,
like,
exactly.
They like when you're tagging them, obviously, and especially if you've been.
I mean, it's great for me too because it gets me to work with like the brands I want to work with.
So do you tag them like when you haven't worked with them, and then that kind of builds that relationship, and then they reach out to you?
A lot of the time, like I will. I always try to like, especially with like a small brand, I have like a really great relationship with like a lot of small brands, which is so nice. But I try to, I mean, usually I try to like buy something first. I don't like to out of the blue just be like, hey, you want to collab? Because it feels a bit like.
And then they might send you something extra and whatever.
Yeah, but then usually I would buy something, and like I never really like expect people. I still don't like if people, small businesses, it's hard. Like you can't always have like the budget for gifting. But a lot of the time, like people do. They'll just be like, do you want this? And I'm like, yeah.
I can't even imagine like trying to get into this world and having to churn out content all the time, but not like being able to buy that wardrobe. It must have been difficult.
It was quite difficult. I think I just honestly made the most of what I had, and like I say, I really just tried to focus on like the like fun within the video, so that like no matter what I was wearing, the video was just fun to watch.
Yeah, which it definitely is.
And I think a lot of the time people would literally say to me like, I don't even like your outfits, but your videos are fun to watch. Like people say that all the time still.
Yeah.
Which is like fine by me. At least I get something from it.
That's
but,
true.
Like,
I mean, at least the like production value.
Yeah.
Right?
So that was my focus at first.
Do you get comments like that quite often? Like, do comments get to you when you get horrible ones? Or not
Honestly, not really, and I'm very lucky. I
Yeah.
feel like I have a really nice following.
That's
Everyone's usually really lovely. And it's like I see it with my sister. She has a really big following. And I think the bigger you get, obviously the more like negative people come with it. And she has like a lot more of that than I do.
Right.
But I guess at like my stage, I feel like I'm quite like close with the people that follow me.
Yeah.
And like the people that follow me do understand me, and like there'll be like the odd comments that I get on the view page. Obviously, maybe someone who doesn't follow me, and they'll be like, "Oh, like this outfit is trash." And it used to affect me, like I say, when I was more insecure about like, and I used to be like, well, maybe they're right, because like I actually don't even know what I like, and I don't know what my like style is, and I don't know, like I know what I'm attracted to, but like I don't really know like what it is. And I think not that it has to be confined to one box.
Not that I have like 8 styles.
Yeah, not that
like
it has to be confined to one
I
box. Exactly, but like it was more like I was always so like unsure of what I like. Like I would like it and be like, but like, is that cool? Like I don't know. Like when I would shop, I'd feel like so lost and be like, oh, I don't know what I like. Whereas now, I go out and I'm like, that's nice and like that's cool. And regardless of what people say, I'm like, well, I really like it. So I'm a lot more like confident in my choices and like the things that I wear now. So now so much, I'm like, I don't really care because at the end of the day, like everyone's different and some people just don't like this style. But
and it's fun. I just laugh at people who say I dress bad because it's like, okay,
you're literally running
mad? Like
also like you're literally running a whole ass business based on your fashion sense, and like so am I. So I'm like I wouldn't be where I am today if I dressed badly.
Yeah, but also it's so subjective. So like, why do you think I need to hear what you think about my outfit? What's your thing at the moment that you're like wearing all the time?
Oh, I'm really sad that like it's like going into winter and autumn because like I do love layering. I do love like layering things, but I do love like summer.
I feel like you're a summer girl, but I think autumn could be your thing as well.
I'm trying.
I feel like everyone's a bit excited for autumn. Like,
yeah, everyone's really excited.
I can't wait. I just want
like
so
autumn,
much stuff.
but winter is different.
And it's grey here.
And it's like really cold.
Yeah.
I feel like you can't even like
coats. They're kind of cute.
Afghan
boots
coats.
and stuff. You love a pair of boots.
I do love a pair of boots.
But what?
So it's great for autumn because then I can wear all my boots.
Yeah.
I do prefer that. This kind of weather is great. It's kind of like mid.
Yeah.
You wear a cardigan. But I guess like my go-to at the moment, I love like midi skirts from the belt. I keep doing that.
Yes, I'm loving the belt. So
I'm a big lover. I think if you follow me, you know of mini skirts. I think I literally have like 40 mini skirts.
Yeah, as you should though.
I love mini skirts. I love the silhouette of like a mini skirt, like knee-high boots.
Yes.
And then like a little top.
Yeah.
I love that.
You.
Yeah, I love that. I'm trying to get more into like jeans. I don't really have like a good jean collection, but I find them hard to find.
Do you have Levi's? Every girl needs a pair of Levi's.
Yeah, no, I don't. You know, I don't.
You need a good pair of Levi's.
Yeah.
Good pair of low-rise. Flared one.
I find them so hard to find, and whenever I go on like Depop or something, I find it so difficult. I'm always like, oh, like I guess like that's the one thing everyone always says, right? You have to try on jeans before you get them.
Yeah.
But I mean, I do like resell a lot of the things.
Yeah, do you resell a lot of stuff?
So I tend to keep, like you, I tend to keep a lot of things that I have. Like, even if I haven't worn it in literally like 6 months, I'm like, yeah, but what if I, especially because with my job, like things do come out of the back of my wardrobe a lot of the time because I'm like, I have a theme for a video. And yeah, I might not wear this on the weekly, but for this video, it serves a great purpose. So then I keep it because I'm like, you never know when I'm going to need it.
Yeah.
But like.
Yeah, that's true actually, technically as well.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's like your like wardrobe of like, I don't know, a movie set or something. You need to have it all there just in case.
Exactly. A lot of the time, if I bought something on Depop and I love it and doesn't fit, I'll tailor it. If it's too small, then I would sell it. But my what I do now actually is my friend, one of my best friends, Jade, I give all like my old stuff, because when I first started and I started to accumulate like a lot of bags of things I didn't want, I was like, what am I gonna do with this stuff? Yeah. Like a lot of gift things, a lot of like stuff from jobs that like I just don't have space for. Like if I kept everything that came through my door, I wouldn't have space for it. So anything I didn't see a purpose for, I like started to collect, and it was literally just sitting in my house, like in my hallway, like full bags, and I was like, okay, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this stuff. And then eventually I like messaged my friend and I was like, look, if I don't have time to resell these, and like if I'm gonna do anything with them, it's probably gonna be to donate them. But I also didn't feel very good about that because I was like, I don't really know what happens to clothes when you donate them.
Not great things, to be honest.
Great things. So I was like, if you can't sell them for me. Basically, I was like, do you want these clothes to resell on like Vinted and Depop? If you don't want them, like, I'm just gonna have to donate anything. And she was like, no, give them to me. So now I have a system with my friend where she will take all my old stuff and sell it on Vinted. But she like resells like all like my old stuff, and like that's from the beginning because I never got rid of anything really. So, but other than that, like maybe something that I've spent more money on, I would like sell myself. But that's like a lot of gifted stuff that I also like didn't feel good like taking the money from it. Because I was like, I don't want to like resell.
It's complicated. Some people feel a bit funny about that, don't
Some people are like, well, it's your job, but I'm like, at least like I'd rather have my friend like benefit from it. I don't want to really benefit from it. And then it's going to a better home. She keeps all the profit from it.
Okay.
So
wow,
I don't get
that's
a
really
percentage.
generous.
Because otherwise I would have just donated it. So I kind of say to her, I'm like,
true.
I would have just donated it, and like,
at least it's
you're doing all the work, and I didn't even pay for these things. So I'm like, what really do I need from
That's
it?
really sweet. In a way, that's better than donating because you're like helping an individual and you get to see.
And now she's really interested in starting her own shop.
Oh, amazing.
So hopefully that is coming soon.
Yeah.
For like her actual like vintage reselling, and
that's really cool. Like a physical shop.
Yeah. No, like a
online,
Depop.
Yeah. I make like 3 TikToks a week, so nothing compared to you. But when we're doing a styling TikTok, the night before, I'll plan all the outfits, which is my favourite thing to do. I lay out all out my bed, and then I drive to work. Do you like to have it all out and you're just rummaging around? That is fun.
Yeah, I like to have it all in front of me, and then I pick a concept, and like, okay, my concept today is gonna be, I don't know, like Mean Girls outfits.
Yeah.
I don't plan them because I always find that like I end up like changing it anyway.
Up. Yeah,
so then I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna like start, and then I'm like, hey, first outfit. Like, what piece do I like? Okay, we'll make something around this. And then I just film that outfit, and then I put it away, and then I'm like, okay, next outfit.
So you do it one by, you get the outfit, film it, put it back, get the next outfit. Oh my god, that must take forever.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Well, I have like a bin in my studio.
Okay.
That when I'm done, I like put it in the bin. So then I'm not wasting time while I film, and like the light changes, and then at the end, I'll just put everything back from like the big bin.
Yeah.
So it's not like too messy, but I used to just like
get it all out.
And then it would be like everywhere, and that was a bad system.
And then you look around and you're like,
and then you can't work in that kind of space, right? So
it's
really.
So that's kind of your creative process, then.
Yeah, I struggle to like plan. So
Yeah.
it's like that was also an adjustment when I started working with the brands. They'd be like, "Hey, what's your creative concept? Like, what's your plan for like this job?" And that was really hard for me personally, because I don't know, maybe I'm just like a lastminute.com type of person. But like the creativity only really comes to me when I'm like standing there and I'm like
with the clothes
and I'm like perfect. But like they will sometimes be like, okay, like you have to send this creative concept and like film it. And I used to just kind of like sometimes I don't even know what content I'm gonna film that day. I just get up and I'm like, I scroll through TikTok for like 30 minutes. I'm like, oh, that's a cool sound. Go with that. Or I'm listening to music. I'm like, oh, I like this song. I'll flip into that tomorrow. Don't know what, but I'll flip into that. And then I start it, and I'm like, oh, this turned out pretty good.
Yeah.
So there's actually like not a lot of planning that goes behind my videos. It's more just doing.
And then the brand content.
Yeah.
And like, I guess yours you can be more spontaneous with, and then the brand's one.
Obviously, yeah, because they have to make sure that they like the idea. It's a better process because then I don't film something that they're like, oh, this is a bit kind of like not what we wanted. Like it wasn't really on brand. So like obviously that makes sense, but that was hard. But I think it's one of those things I definitely should look into trying to do.
Yeah.
Like getting a studio, starting to like plan things out a bit more, because I do find that I just get a bit like chaotic at times and like, oh, like what am I gonna film? Like, and then I sometimes waste a lot of time because I'm just like.
But sometimes that's just what being a creative is.
It is. I think a lot of people would say that.
You can find your balance of like maybe being a bit more planned out, but you don't want to over plan, because if that's not how you work, then
well, exactly.
it wouldn't turn out.
I find like over planning like stresses me out, and then like if I have like one outfit that doesn't work, I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like, what am I gonna do now?
Yeah. Do you find that brands like usually now they just let you have creative control? Like they're not too prescriptive with like we need you to do this and this and this.
Well, like each brand and the campaign I do is different. So some are like really specific, and they'll be like, okay, our campaign around this, and it could be like a big campaign, like it's like to use like the sound that they've made, and like, you know, like this, like they get all these influencers to do like the same thing. Yeah. And then others will be like, oh, we just want to send you this, and you can kind of like do what you want. Those are usually like the smaller ones.
And
but like the big brands,
like that?
I don't mind. Honestly, sometimes it is great when like they have a really detailed brief and it like aligns with what I like to do.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, okay, like sounds really easy and like some right up my street. Like I could do that, perfect. And then kind of like that work is done for you, and it's like more clear on like how to like get the content approved and like get put out there. Whereas sometimes when it's more creative freedom, I like would do something and like not that the brands don't like it or they're like, oh, we don't like that. It's more like, oh, like because so much I'm sure that goes into on their side, like brand guidelines and like
they would have researched it as well.
Yeah, like also as like their business, they have to like really be like on brand and like there's certain things that like can't be included in videos, certain things that can, like certain sounds, swear words, alcohol, like even like I have my little barcode in my video. So when I film ads, I have to like push all the alcohol and like turn all the labels around.
Yeah.
Like things like that like
I would never even think
that I just forget.
How do you get a work-life balance, if at all?
I feel like at the moment that's probably my biggest issue. I really don't. Like I feel like I wake up and I'm like, okay, like my iPad's next to me. Oh, let me just like reply to some emails. Like just get out of the way. And like that's like 7 a.m. when I wake up and I'm like in bed replying to emails. And I'm like, and then I'm like, I shouldn't be doing that, but then yet I do. And then because it makes my life easier later, you know, because then I'm like, okay, I feel like then I can like have a coffee, have breakfast, and then like get ready, and then like 10 o'clock usually I can like actually start. But then like, because otherwise if I do admin and all this stuff before, then it's like 12 o'clock and then it starts to get dark, especially in the winter, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
You have the lighting thing to worry about. That's so true.
Yeah. Summer has been so great.
Yeah.
Because I start filming at like 3 after like do admin and like
everything.
Yeah, and creative things where like film an ad, and then at 3 I can be like, okay, cool, I can film like my own video. Yeah. But now I'm gonna have to be more of a planner. But yeah, work-life balance. Yeah, it's hard, but I think it will be better. I think just like have my own space. I can like use the living room at my free will. But I would really love to like not have my living room be where I work.
I think for like up here, it's really important to have some sort of separation.
Yeah,
like,
so I don't at the moment.
I was working at my bedroom for like 5 years, and then I got a studio, and I was like, oh my god, I needed this.
And you like put it off because you're like, it's expensive. It's like, how am I going to logistically make it work? But I guess one of the things, like all those kind of things are just smart. You just make it work.
You do.
When you get it, and then you're like, wow, this is like much better. But yeah, it's the work-life balance is hard.
I would recommend turning your phone off at night. That's what I do, like turn it off at like 10, 11, and I don't turn it back on until I've had breakfast. Yeah. So I always have, and I read in bed for like half an hour, then have my breakfast. I'm quite like like that. Yeah, structured, exactly. And then I turn it on, and then I deal with everything. Nothing's going to change between dealing with it at 7:30 or 8:30 in the morning.
Yeah, exactly.
Just have that time for yourself. I remember you posting about having like burnout. You had burnout earlier this year. What was that like?
Oh yeah, it was really hard. It was before I went to New York to see my sister. Yeah. And I think I got really creatively overwhelmed, like burnt out. Like I think it's really hard. I find it really hard, and I'm sure you can relate, that like when your brand is you, because it feels
exhausting.
It feels like everything you do is like branded, but also like you're just being authentic. Like I try to be, but like at the same time, as much as you try to do that, at times it isn't like that. At times you do have to be like, okay, what's like, it is structured, it is thought out. What's my creative concept for this video? How am I gonna like get this video to look? Like it's a creative process. So like the end product it's authentic, yes, but it also is extremely structured and like planned and thought out, like you said. So it's like, I found it like really hard to like wake up every day, do my makeup, and like stand in front of a camera. I was like, I'm so tired of this. Like I just want it to like not be about me for a second. I kind of wanted like a different creative outlet that wasn't just like me putting outfits together. And I've just done so many videos. Like I've done
so many. How many TikToks have you posted?
I don't even know.
Does it say on TikTok?
I don't think you can see.
Or I can see how many.
I wonder if there's like a website, like you know, where you can like see someone's stats.
You've only done 500 posts on Instagram, but that's in what, a year and a half? That's actually a lot. I've done 1,000.
So that's like a year and a half. That's like almost one a day.
Yeah, that's a lot actually.
Yeah.
So then you decided to just go to New York and just have a break, right?
Well, I think it's hard. I think this is like the work-life balance thing / burnout. Is it feels like I never have a break. Yeah. I feel like every moment in my life is like, okay, I got to try and like make some content out of this. Like I go on holiday, I can make content around planning outfits for holiday. I can take photos of those outfits on holiday, and like I want to get photos of every outfit because I tried really hard. That one was gifted, so I want to make sure I get pictures in it and like get that done. But like also there's a lot of days like everyone when you wake up and you're like, wow, I don't feel good today. And like I have to get up and like dance and look happy and fun in front of a camera, and like that was really hard because it was a period of time where I just didn't feel like it, and yet it was my job, so I had to like continue to do it. So that was like really hard. I think the more I tried to just do it and didn't take a break, the worse and worse it got. Then I went to New York, and it was quite chill there. I think it was like, I was quite eager to make content, but also at the same time, I was like, you know what? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I just want to be with my sister, whatever, like, recharge. And that was, like, I think that was pretty good for me. But then also, like, since then, I've had, like, my mom staying with me. So this is, like, 5 of us in, like, a 2-bed apartment. And my mom staying with me, like, on my, like, pull-out couch where I work, like, in the living room while I work. And now I have my boyfriend's other sister staying with me. So it's been, like, really hard to, like, to feel like I have my own space. And I think that also, like, burns me out a lot. Like, feeling like I don't have, like, that work-life separation. Then I started vlogging earlier, like, this year. And that was also hard because I was, like, I actually just feel like maybe vlogging isn't for me because, like, I just feel like it's, like, I feel like everything that I did was for social media.
Yeah, your whole life.
Yeah, and I just feel like I forgot to, like, enjoy things.
You need to have time for you as well. No cameras, no anything.
Yeah.
Just kind of enjoy it.
Exactly, and I forgot to, like, take time for me, and I forgot to, like, it got to a point where I was, like, everything had to be, like, a moment to capture, and then I kind of, like, really took a step back. I think I'm getting a lot better where I was like, you know what? Like, I don't have to capture this right now. Like, I don't have to do this. And I get sucked into it sometimes still. Yeah, I still get sucked into it sometimes. Exactly. So I get sucked into it sometimes still. But I'm trying to take a more relaxed approach.
I know exactly how you feel. I had a similar thing, specifically with holidays. Like, I've been on some really amazing holidays this summer, and I'm really lucky to go on them. And I have the best time each time. But I got myself into this weird thing where I was, like, planning outfits for every day of the holiday to take pictures in. That was just in Mallorca. And it's so claustrophobic. I was feeling really like, oh my god, if I don't get that outfit pick, then I've let down this girl who sent me this dress in time for my holiday. Or I needed to shoot 3 designs on that holiday and I've only done 2 and it's the last night and it's dark now. And I'm saying to my mum, like, but I need to go to this restaurant for this time. So, and then I was like, oh my god, I need to relax. The whole point of these holidays is to have a nice time. So I just went on holiday with my girls last week. I took the smallest bag I've ever taken on holiday. I took, like, 3 dresses, 2 skirts, and 3 tops. That's literally all I took. And I got cute pics, but it was not my plan at all to do that, not my intention.
So if you happen to do it, great. If you don't,
there was just one design that I needed to shoot when I was there, and that was it. And that was so relaxing to me. Like, I didn't realise, but I was really burnt out before this holiday, and my, like, health was not in a good place. I was feeling really anxious and stressed, and my anxiety really manifests itself, like, physically in my body. So I feel really, like, sick when I'm anxious. Tired and unwell. I was so exhausted. And I just thought, like, oh, maybe it's my vitamin D or whatever. And I went on holiday. I didn't plan any outfits. I just had a good time with my girls. Took some fun pics because that's what people do anyway. Like, normal people take photos, but you don't have to be, like, all the time, you know?
Yeah.
And I came back and I was like, oh my god, I love my job. I feel so much better now. Sometimes you really need to force yourself to be like, it's not always the outfit pics, you know? Because it's, like, mental work. Yeah. It doesn't seem like work sometimes, but actually it's a lot of work.
And you take a photo and you're like, oh, I don't like that photo, and it's like you're having to, like, kind of curate.
Take 100 more, and then you go through them and you favorite them, and actually you should be out.
Again, like, always consuming, like, yourself.
It's exhausting.
It's just, like, it's really weird, and I feel like I've, like, thought on that a lot. Like, damn, like, social media does suck. And then, like, I've thought about, like, my contribution to it. I hope it's a good one.
It definitely is.
But, like, at the same time, I get that, like, for a lot of people, like, following influencers is, like, not good for their mental health. So I've often thought about, like, my contribution.
I don't think that you would be one of those people, though. Because you're not, like, I just think you have a good energy. You're just putting out a good energy. You're not like, this is the, like, expensive handbag I just bought, or, like, guys, like, I don't know, I'm gonna get veneers in Turkey or whatever. Like, you're not like, I don't know, I just don't see you having a bad influence on people.
Because I've thought about that a lot, and I'm like, damn, like, Instagram makes me feel like shit. Like, it makes a lot of people feel like shit. And I've thought about it in, like, a more, like, deep way. Like, wow, we're really just all in this app, like, putting out content for each other. Yeah. It's very weird, but at the same time, I feel like once I go down that deep hole, I have to stop myself and just think about it more simply, and the fact that I like fashion, and I'm just sharing that, like, passion.
I was looking at your page. It's like 15 million views on one video. Maybe of you and your sister or something. Or, like, one of the pinned ones at the top of your page.
Yeah, it was probably my Are You New Here one.
Yeah. And, okay, so talk me through that then. What was that like? That was crazy.
That was weird. That was my first, like, blow-up experience. Yeah. That was really weird. Basically, there was, like, this really old I don't even know where the video came from. I don't know if it was Vine or if it was actually a TikTok. But it's this old video, and like the original sound is like this girl, and she's like, "Are you new here?" Mm-hmm. Yeah. And my friend Jade, going back to her, the one who resells her stuff. Shout out Jade. she sent me this TikTok, and I was like, "That is so funny." And then, you know, when you're and it was like, it had like 2 videos of the sound, and I was like, you know,
that's what it had. So it wasn't a trend.
No.
You literally started that trend.
So you know when like something you just like keep saying from TikTok, you know, everyone does that, like, or your language changes. So my sister was in London at the time, and I kept being like, "Are you new here?" And she's like, "What is that?" And then I showed her the video. She's like, "Oh my god, that's so funny, you should make one." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And she's like, "Just do it." And like she like filmed me, and this was like the first one. We were in like a movie premiere, and we like went outside, and she like filmed me doing it, and we didn't like have any context to it, but we just filmed the "Are you new here?" And I like just like kind of like copied like what that girl did in like that original, like who's the original voice of it. Yeah. So I guess she's like the original. I don't know. I guess like, I don't know the source of the video. Yeah, the look as well. Yeah. I don't know the source of the video, like her name. I wish I did, but I don't know where it actually came from. I don't think she ever. It looks like it's set like. It looks like it's set like in like the 2010s. Like it looks like an old video, but I don't know. I could be wrong. So don't quote me on it.
I've never seen it.
But she basically does that, and then she like pulls that face, and she like walks away like that. So then I just found it really funny. I kept doing it. So then my sister and I made this one, but we just added, basically all we did was add the concept of like, you know, when like you ask your sister to put something in like the garbage, but it's actually called a bin. We were playing on like our American versus British thing. Like her American followers, my British followers type thing. And then that one like probably got like 2 million views, so that did really well. Wow. But then that one that's pinned is like my biggest one. Yeah. And it was like when you're in London. When you're in London and your friend says you should take an Uber, but it's only a 40-minute walk. Oh yeah. So it's like obviously like just playing with like, people in London like walk around, and like everyone just did it. Like it was wild. Like like famous people were like doing it.
Really?
And it just became like a, oh my god, this is one guy. He's like an actor, but I'm really bad with actors' names. But yeah, it was really really crazy. And then that's when I think it was like 300,000 followers. Then that like
doubled.
Oh my gosh, it like when it got me to like 500,000. Wow. I think that was the first time I ever saw that like outside of my fashion videos, I could actually do like more fun.
Because that's content. You, that's just came from your brain.
Because I was always like, no, like my brand's fashion, and like I don't want to like stray away from that. And then my sister really encouraged me to like just show my personality more. And then since then, like those are the videos that do the best.
Honestly, when I'm looking through your page, it's like the fashion ones. All I mean, they're so consistent. Every single one's over 100K. But then like. It's the comedy style ones. People just find you hilarious. Yeah. Like, I love that. I think that's so cool because the fashion is you, obviously, but the jokes that you tell or your sense of humour, that's like just really your personality. So I think that's so cool.
So that's when I started to have more fun with it. Yeah. And really just like kind of be like let go of like this like box I was putting myself into. Yeah. And just have more fun. And that's why I want to continue to try and branch out the box. And like maybe I try the chatty videos and you know what, I actually don't enjoy them. That's fine. But I think it's like important to just keep
100% try new things.
Because I get a bit bored. Like anyone, I've grown a bit like tired of doing fashion videos every day. I still love them, but like once, twice, 3 times a week is like enough for me.
But you know what's funny is like sometimes I feel like in this weird world we're in, like in fashion and stuff, you can feel a bit bad about that. You can be like, oh my god, I'm going crazy because like I'm sick of doing the same thing every day. That's how people with other jobs feel. Yeah, it's normal. It's normal to go to work and be like, not today, man. And we're lucky that that's like an anomaly for us. Like it's not. So when we do have a day where we're like, not today, I don't feel like doing this today. That's unusual for us, but most of the time we love it, right? Yeah, and I feel like it's normal to be like, I'm sick of doing the same thing every day. That's why people get promotions and like there are incentives at work. Like you feel like you're making, you know, progress. But with us, no one's going to give us a promotion. Like, so we have to innovate the work that we do and change it to our mood and change it to where we want to go. So if you want to show more of your personality and you decide to do more personality stuff, then I think no one's going to tell you to do it. You just have to do it. You know? For sure. To keep it, like your work's supposed to change and evolve.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I'm not going to be like 40 in my room, like.
I mean, I would love that though if you did. I feel like I haven't asked you anything about your personal life. I could talk about work for hours, but I'm so interested. So your accent, people always comment on it, right, on TikTok. Yeah. Like, Where's this girl's accent from? So, did you grow up in South Africa, you said? Or
Yeah, so I was born in the UK, in Manchester, and then when I was 8 years old, my family relocated to South Africa.
Yeah.
Because basically my mom's sister, so my aunt, she had remarried someone who's South African, not remarried, but married someone who's South African. They moved to South Africa, so we kept visiting because their family.
Yeah.
And then eventually my mom was like, my mom and dad were like, we love it here. It's so much nicer and hotter and more beautiful, so let's go.
Yeah, I could do a little bit of that.
Yeah, so then we moved there, and I basically did not leave South Africa for like that entire time. I lived there. I think I went to New York once.
So how many years
and then
was that?
England once. So that was the only time I ever went anywhere else.
In
South
how many
Africa.
years?
That was like I left when I was 19, so that's
wow. And when you moved there?
8.
11 years. 11 years. That's a really long time.
And then that's when I decided to move to London. I always knew because it's not really like a lot of opportunity in South Africa.
And you said about the clothes as well.
Yeah, it's not a great place for fashion, I don't think, really. But so then I was like, I want to move to London and just see what happens here.
And here you are.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's everything I needed to ask you. Do you have anything you want to plug? Anything coming up?
Honestly, no.
You're just
I'm riding the waves. Who knows what's going to happen.
But yeah, thank you so much for coming
thank you.
on.
It's been so fun.